Midwinter is usually recognized around the winter solstice, or December 21st, the longest night of the year, since nights thereafter would become progressively shorter until spring. Throughout history, it represented a time where the end of the year was recognized and the coming of spring could be anticipated. Midwinter celebrations predate Christianity, with almost all cultures having a midwinter ceremony or festival of some kind in the Northern Hemisphere. In the Southern Hemisphere, midwinter celebrations occurred in June. Vermont Abenaki peoples celebrate the Forgiveness Moon, where the end of the lunar year gave the opportunity to abandon old conflicts and negativity and welcome renewal and rebirth. Today, Vermont Abenakis celebrate this ceremony by burning old pieces of wood that represent past negativity and contacting people with whom they have lost contact to renew the relationship. Vermont's Jewish population celebrated Hanukkah during this time. While the purpose of Hanukkah is different, it also involves commemoration of light. Different Jewish traditions observed it in different ways throughout history, and widespread public celebrations grew in the 20th century. Many of the traditions of Christmas have their origins in these winter solstice holidays, such as Yule in Northern Europe and Saturnalia in ancient Rome. In Northern Europe, people would celebrate by lighting the Yule log on the darkest days of winter to welcome the coming spring. Certain fertility rituals, like kissing under a mistletoe, were also meant to welcome the coming spring and potential for new life. It was believed that an unmarried person would remain so throughout the year unless kissed under a mistletoe. Decorating the house with evergreens, like in the multi-day Saturnalia feasts, also came from these early holidays, as did traditions of gift-giving, sociability, and feasting. During Saturnalia, servants were not required to work, and were often served by the masters, much like modern Boxing Day or holiday philanthropy. Christmas trees, as we understand them today, were based on a German tradition and did not appear in Euro-American communities until the 19th century. Despite English Yuletide traditions, Christmas was not widely celebrated in New England, owing to Puritan attitudes against certain feasts and celebrations. Puritans made celebrating Christmas illegal in 1621 and a finable offense in 1659. These prohibitions eased in the early 18th century, with churches emphasizing the religious aspects of the holiday. This avoidance of Christmas continued after the American Revolution, and it was not declared a holiday until the 1870s. The southern states and mid-Atlantic states celebrated Christmas more freely, but New England culturally overlooked it, with celebrations, if held at all, being private. Ethan Allen and family, as deists, did not likely celebrate Christmas. If Vermonters celebrated Christmas at all, they did so with private gatherings in their homes. Observance grew in the early 1800s, with certain communities embracing it, indicating that private celebrations had already been occurring. Large-scale celebrations, as we recognize them, were established by the time of the Civil War. Midwinter celebrations typically involved social gatherings where food was shared, dancing and music enjoyed, providing a much-needed break from the isolation and monotony of winter. Food was typically of a hearty and sweet variety, as winter supplies and preservation methods allowed. Gifts, if given at all, were usually small. No matter the culture or spiritual belief, Midwinter provided an opportunity to reflect on the end of the old year and embrace the coming spring and promise of new life.